Today we're doing a pivot drive tandem conversion on an unlimited, but the steps are the same for the F12 as well. So you're going to want to start at your pedal tower by taking the pin out of the lock here and then your cable housing out of the pedal tower. And then you're going to want to move to the prop shaft. Okay, so you're going to want a screw gun or a screwdriver to get these bolts out, or nuts. And you're going to want to remove these two screws from the clamp that clamps in the cable housing to the prop shaft. Then remove the screws, set them aside for later. And then you're going to want to take a flathead or something to pry open the clamp here. And don't do it too rough, just enough to get it out. Then you have the cable exposed, so you're going to want to just pull the cable out of the receiver of the prop shaft, which might be kind of hard, but you just kind of have to force it out. There you go. So take your old cable housing and cable off of the boat, and then grab your new tandem setup cable housing and then put it in place to be installed. Next up, you're going to want to scoot your seat and pedal tower back. I would suggest scooting it as far back as possible so you give the front person enough room to do their thing. Okay, so after you move your pedal tower back to where you want it, according to your height and your legs, you're going to want to move back to the prop shaft. Okay, now that you're back out at the prop shaft, you're going to want to basically do the reverse of what you did taking the old cable housing out of the prop shaft. So you're going to want the cable sticking out of the cable housing a little bit here, so you can stick it back into the receiver there. So basically you want to match the square of the cable here to the how the receiver is oriented, and you're just going to want to slide it in there and kind of push it and make sure it's really tight in there, and then you just slide your housing over it and then back into the clamp and kind of pry it open to get it in there. And then make sure it's in there, and then you're going to want to just put your screws back in and make sure your cord for your detent pin is still in there. So yeah, just grab your screws that you used earlier and your nuts, and then put them back in their spots, and then tighten them back up. Okay, now that you're done with the installing the cable housing and the cable back into the prop shaft, you're going to want to come back to the pedal tower side and re-put in your cable housing to your pedal tower. You're going to want to look at the receiver in this side to kind of match up the cable to the receiver in there. And you can kind of pedal to get it to the right spot. And then just kind of shove it in there. And then re-put your pin in. There you go. So once you've put your cable housing into your pedal tower, you want to just give it a quick test just to see if it's working. So now that you're done putting your tandem cable housing into your pedal tower and prop shaft and then testing it, you're going to want to swap the position of your steering handle, which you just need a screwdriver for. Should be fine. So you're just going to want to unscrew your two truss heads here. And then you're going to want to take the 5-foot cable that you have set up and swap it with the 4-foot cable. So now you're going to want to remove the cotter pin here and then pop that out and then pop off the ball joint connector here and then unscrew it from your 5-foot cable. And then you're going to want to grab your 4-foot cable and then put it in place. Put the ball joint connector onto the 4-foot. And then we're going to want to move back to the steering handle and then finish unscrewing those. And then grab your long mighty bolts and spacers and then put them on this track here. And then install your steering handle there and grab your mighty knobs. Tighten those down. All right. Now that you have that, so you're going to want to screw the 4-foot cable into your terminal here, which is kind of difficult, but helps to just like kind of twist the whole steering cable to get it in there. All right. Okay, now you're going to want to reinstall your steering cable back onto your prop shaft here. Just put it in the cable stay with the cotter pin, and then get it to where this is tight on there, and snap it back on there. Now you're good to go. Next up, we're going to switch up the retract cord for the tandem setup because you scoot everything back, so you want the retract cord to be accessible. So basically, you just want to take your cord out of your big wheel pulley and your pad eyes. All right, then we're going to take our track mount big wheel pulley and mount it to where it's comfortable to you in the back seat. So it's pretty easy. It's just 2 mighty bolts, 2 mighty knobs. Next up, you're going to run your shortened retract cord through the big wheel pulley. And then you're going to want to just run through your pad eyes back to your prop shaft. Okay, now you're going to want to just finish up your setup by installing your second seat to make it truly tandem. And I suggest scooting it as far back as you can to where the seat doesn't get in the way of the pedals here. So you can just kind of test that and see if you're in the right spot. Okay, now you're good to go out on the water and enjoy fishing with another person aboard.